Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Happy Bitch Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Happy Bitch Podcast. It's been a minute, guys. I definitely miss you all, and it feels really good to be back recording. As most of you may know, I got married last year, so I thought I would finally finish up the wedding series, I guess you could say. And let's talk about today everything that went wrong on our wedding day. I would just like to start out by saying the wedding day was fantastic and there was a few minor glitches, but I just think they're like funny and I want to share them with you. It was an amazing day. I got to marry my husband, who I love so fucking much. It's kind of sick. I just, like, even now, like, we've been married almost a year. You know, we've been together for almost 7. And still to this day, I just keep falling more and more in love with him. And I don't know, it's weird. You always hear about these stories and you're like, yeah, but who does that really happen to? And then I guess when you make your relationship a priority and put in the work, it will just keep growing and blossoming and be beautiful and wonderful. So let's get into the juice today, guys. So the first thing that went wrong on our wedding day was, actually these aren't really in order, but we forgot the tripod that I bought specifically to record the ceremony. Yeah, so we left it on the deck, and by the time we got home, it had fallen over and blown around and broken and whatever. Luckily, our photographer saved the day, and he brought his tripod with all the connecting pieces, so we were able to video our ceremony after all, which we still haven't watched, so I think we're going to watch that on our 1-year anniversary. And there's a few things in there that are going to be pretty funny. I'll get into those too. So that was the first thing that went wrong. Ooh, the next one. The Subway meat fight. That's what I've titled it. So we went to Subway because we're hungry before the ceremony. And there was a Subway on the way. So I just wanted, like, for those of you who aren't used to Subway, it's like a sandwich shop, right? You can get the foot long, you can get a 6-inch, and then they have a child's menu, which is like you can get a 3-inch sub, right? So, like, I didn't want to eat something super heavy. I'm in a fucking wedding dress, so I was like, can I get the 3-inch sub? They're like, oh yeah, for sure. And then I was like, well, can I have extra meat on that? Because, you know, I want the protein, but I don't want all the bread. And the guy's standing there, well, I don't know if I can do a child-size sandwich with extra meat. And I was like, just charge me for the 6-inch with extra meat. And then he's like, are you sure we can do that? Like, he's looking at me like he's really trying to have a conversation about fucking meat as I'm standing there in a wedding dress about to go say I do. And I look over at my husband, and he knows I'm, like, getting a little cranky because I'm just trying to get my food and go get married. And he's like, just charge for the 6-inch, okay? Just charge whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Just give my fiance her fucking sub. So yeah, I don't know. It was super funny at the time because, like, I was just like, are we really standing here arguing about fucking meat on my wedding day? Like, just give me the double meat. Jesus Christ. Okay, so with that being said, we were at Subway, and my lovely husband decides that it would be a good idea to get jalapenos on his sub. Whatever, not a big deal. So we get to the ceremony, and, you know, we're holding each other's hands, and we're looking deep into each other's eyes, and we're saying our vows, and, like, it's a really special moment, and it's like we're both about to cry, and then all of a sudden, all you hear is, Rah! We're like, what the fuck was that? But I knew what it was. It was my stomach's, it was my husband's stomach, gurgling because of the fucking jalapenos. So needless to say, his gurgling stomach kind of ruined our little almost crying moment. But it, like, made it a different moment. And if you've been listening for a while, you fucking know I have a weird sense of humor. So this, I think it's better that it happened this way. I like it. It's hilarious. Okay. So also, something that happened at the ceremony. Okay, sorry about that. So the second thing that happened during this ceremony, so I think we were kind of like laughing still from the gurgling stomach, and then it was time to put the rings on. And we haven't watched the video back, so I don't exactly know who's really at fault for this. But I ended up putting the ring on the wrong hand of my husband. Pretty funny. I don't know if he gave me the wrong hand or if I grabbed the wrong hand. Whatever it is, put it on the wrong hand. Not my brightest move. And the fucked up thing is too, like, during the ceremony, I was kind of like, okay, which hand is his left hand? And, like, it really shouldn't have been that hard. It would just be the opposite. But, like, when you're up and, like, you're getting married and stuff, your brain's not really working as well as it should because, like, you're nervous and excited and happy and, yeah. So I just thought that was super funny. Number 4, not a huge deal, but I realized after we had already done the ceremony that my dress was kind of like bunched up in certain areas, so probably in some of the pictures the dress looks a little bit weird, but like not the end of the world, right? Just like something like if you're gonna get married, maybe like double check that your dress isn't bunched up. Okay. Another thing that happened on the wedding day, I get a message from my mother saying my sister is in labor. So she ended up giving birth on my wedding day. Obviously she wasn't at the wedding. She was at the hospital giving birth. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So yeah, my sister went into labor, so needless to say, my mother had to leave after the ceremony to go take care of her other child. So, which meant that my mom ended up missing the family pictures and the supper that we had for our wedding. Not the end of the world, but it did kind of suck if I'm gonna be honest. You know, you want your mom to be there with you on your big special day. Granted, I totally understand that she couldn't just leave a 2-year-old baby at home by herself. It is what it is. No harm, no foul against anyone. This is just my story and my podcast, so I can tell people how it makes me feel. The next thing, actually, this is also about other family members. We had like a wedding during COVID, right? So we had a very strict list of who was doing what. So it's very important for me for the people who we chose to be at our wedding to show up. We had 3 family members who forgot about the wedding and never showed up, which, yeah, it hurt my feelings. I'm over it now, obviously, because it's like nobody's life revolves around you, just as your life doesn't revolve around anybody else. On that note, if one of my siblings was getting married, I wouldn't forget to go. But that's me, right? You can't expect yourself from other people, and everybody has different priorities and whatever, but some people forgot to come. Was I upset? Yes. Did I get over it? Yes. Okay. Oh, this is just a note that I kind of have. Being a part of a few weddings and stuff like that, I've made a conclusion. I believe that there are 2 times in your life when people are going to show their true colors. It's when someone gets married and at funerals. Weddings and funerals. That's when people are going to show their true colors. For the good or for the bad. If you're not married yet, wait until you get married and see all the fucking bullshit people try and pull. All of a sudden, you have people giving their opinions when you didn't fucking ask for their opinion. Yeah. Everyone has an opinion about weddings. They will say, oh, well, you should do this, you should do that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like I said, if you've been listening for a while, you know what my opinion is on that. Do what the fuck is right for you. And do what makes you happy. Not what everybody else wants. And especially when it comes to weddings, right? Because if you fucking invite every person that your parents want you to invite, and every person you want your husband's parents want you to invite, you're gonna be fucked. You're gonna have 300 people at your wedding. You're gonna be paying $60,000. Like, let's not even go there. Just remember, it's your wedding and it's your day. Do what makes you happy. And even if it's like a toxic family member that you're like, ugh, I just can't imagine having them there. Don't fucking invite them. It's your wedding. Remember that. But like I said, all in all, still the best day of my life. It was amazing. I just want to stop and talk about a few of my favorite moments from the day. Like I said, it was a COVID wedding, so it was very minimal on the people that were there. I did, however, have my maid of honor and my cousin sleep over the night before, and, you know, we woke up in the morning, and we drank our coffee on the deck, and then we got ready. You know, it was just me and her. One of my best friends, who's a hairdresser, came over and did my hair for the wedding, which literally saved my life, because it was a few weeks before the wedding, and I was like, up until that point, I was like, I can just do my own hair. I'm pretty good at doing my own hair. You know, I can throw some curls in. It's going to look good, whatever. But then I started worrying, like, I just don't want another thing to worry about on the wedding day. So I had kind of mentioned it to my best friend. And she was like, oh, what the hell? Like, don't stress. I'll just come over to your house and do your hair. Which was, like, a pretty big ask because, like, I live out of town and it's not super close. So, you know, she had to drive all the way out of town and blah, 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 blah. But like I said, people are going to show their true colors when it comes to your wedding. I.e., a best friend stepping up when her girl needs her and being there. Thank you, Erica. So, yeah, getting ready was super fun. My best friend came and did my hair. So, yeah, we did the ceremony. Ceremony was super quick. If you're in the Regina area, definitely feel free to message me and I can tell you who we used for our wedding, because she was super good. Like, she set everything up for you. You just had to show up to her place. You're in and out. You get married in like 25 minutes. Like, it's literally fucking phenomenal. There's no setup. There's no takedown. Like, I was referred to her from one of my friends. And then I've referred a few of my friends to her as well. If you want to go the easy route and you're not too picky about certain, like, your background or whatever, then definitely a great option. Other favorite moments of the day, the supper. The supper was fucking phenomenal. One of my favorite things in the world is just going for a long supper. So, like, we got a bottle of champagne, Le Veuve Clicquot. Oh my god, so fucking good. That's the Orange Label champagne, if you don't know. But yeah, so actually, one of our groomsmen bought that bottle of champagne for us, which was such a beautiful thing to do. Like, a bottle of champagne is not cheap, and especially in a restaurant, like, fuck, thank you so much. Really good wedding gift. So yeah, we went for supper. I think there was like 15 or 20 of us that all went. We had like the whole outdoor deck kind of, and this was at the Chop restaurant. So we had appies, and then we had steak sandwich, I think like calamari. I can't really remember what the appies were. But for, like, the supper part, I had steak and lobster and I can't really remember what else. Oh my god, my mouth is, like, starting to water just thinking about all this delicious food. Chop has really good food. If you're ever interested, definitely check out Chop. Like, the Surf and Turf is really, really good. Their steaks are amazing. I don't think I've ever had a bad meal there now that I think about it. But yeah, so then because we got married, they gave us, like, a whole, like, little spread of desserts. So that was, like, my first time having... Shit. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like some custard that's, like, burnt on the top. Creme brulee, maybe? I think so. That was super delicious. We had, we sat there, we had some drinks. They had a little fire pit on the table, so, like, love it. Perfect. Couldn't ask for anything more. After that, we headed over to Boston Pizza South, and, like, we hang out there quite a bit. Like, that's usually where we go for football season. So we went to Boston Pizza, and then having some drinks, whatever. Felt kind of weird that I was in a wedding dress, but it's like, whatever. It's my wedding day. It was really fun. And then, yeah, I was like, well, I might as well just check out the jukebox. And they actually had the song that I walked down the aisle to. It's called Mara's Song. I can't remember who it's by right now, and I feel bad about that, but not a huge deal. So yeah, I put that song on the jukebox, and then we ended up dancing. Like, we ended up getting our first dance anyways. I was a little worried, like, oh, we're not gonna get our first dance, and blah, 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 but I was like, you know what? If you want your first dance, then you can go home and put on your wedding song and dance with your husband in the kitchen. Not a huge deal, right? But yes, we ended up doing our first dance together at Boston Pizza, and it was really nice. My friend videoed it for us, so, like, we have that. And, yeah, like, I really thought I would miss out on a lot of things, like, I didn't end up having my bridesmaids all get the same dresses. We didn't get to get ready together. It just wasn't a traditional wedding, but it's the way we chose to do it because of COVID, and I'm still happy about it, and definitely marrying my husband is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything that happened on our wedding day. I would love to know what has gone wrong on your wedding day. Please leave a comment or message me on Instagram. You can find the podcast Instagram. Happy Bitch Podcast is the name. Yeah, because I know how much planning goes into wedding days, and sometimes you just can't plan for everything, right? Sometimes things are bound to go wrong. So I would love to know what went wrong on your wedding day. And be happy. Don't be a bitch. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening, and have a great week.